Footy Show, great to have your company on this very balmy evening here in Melbourne. Lots to get through tonight. The Demons kick off their 2014 campaign Saturday night. New coach Paul Roos joins us live in the studio.
And on Friday night, one of the all-time greats of the game, Dustin Fletcher, breaks the all-time games record for the Bombers, a man rarely seen on television. He's on the Footy Show tonight.
Looking forward to seeing Big Dusty. Lots of news kicking around. A lot of talk about the Sydney Swans.
What is that?
Potential unrest up there. Damien Barrett will tell us exactly what's going on in the Swans camp. Also, a little story about the Carlton Footy Club.
We've also got the Kokoda track, the last leg. Gary and Sam, do they make it? What sort of nick are they in when they get there? And speaking of Sam, he heads out to Craigieburn for a big street tour.
And the superstar panel about to join us. Let's jump into it.
Docklands Precinct, you're very, very welcome, and we can't do this show without the panel. The best names, the biggest stars are always on the Footy Show, and this man, a premiership player for Collingwood, a former superstar for St Kilda, and one of our favourites. Welcome, Luke Ball to the Footy Show. Oh, speaking of our favourites, this man used to play for Adelaide, now plays for Melbourne, Bernie Vince. Keep it going for the Mayor of Geelong. Here he comes, Bill Bruce.
Look out. Oh, it's a very good panel to get us away with, Jimmy, but we need our man on the end here.
Yes,
the one man that has been here since day one on the Footy Show. We
Entertainment
did some
machine.
Stuff with him through the week, Jim, that he was up and about. Please welcome the 300-game champion from Geelong, John Sammy Newman.
Here he is.
Nice to see you, Sammy boy.
Very much.
Oh, Mr. Number One.
Very big. A person known as the Cinderella Man. Much later in the show, we'll be speaking to very big name in the audience tonight, later on.
You brought a special guest, have you?
I have personally brought this person in. Won't say if it's a man or a woman. When you see it, you'll know exactly what gender this person is.
Very much looking forward to that. A little concerned and a bit apprehensive. But anyway, we're going to get straight into the panel because this is a big night. And what about this man? It's a great pleasure that I can announce that he's a Melbourne Footy Club player. Bernie Vince joins us. Welcome, Bern. Good to see you, mate. Settled into Melbourne town, all right?
What's that, sorry?
Settled into Melbourne town, mate.
I have, yeah. Been over since November and thoroughly enjoyed it.
It all happened pretty quick, Bern. I
did.
know most things that's going on at Melbourne, but I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah, you've played a huge part, mate. That was obviously happened really quick, and yeah, at the time it was a big change in my life, but I've enjoyed it and loved being over here.
Well, you're a huge favourite in Adelaide, not only with the fans, of course, but also your teammates. You shared a house with our man, the Texan, and we all know what used to happen in that house. It's quietened down a touch, Bill, since then. But we saw this and thought it was interesting. This is when you departed. Explain what you're doing here. You've got the Texan down on one knee.
Yeah, Tex, he did propose to me there at one stage. But no, that was just after our trip to the States. So we thought we'd get in the gear and yeah, take one last photo for the wall.
Hard leaving your mates. I mean, you obviously make new ones at Melbourne, but it would have been a wrenching moment when you left. You left him with a little present to remember you by, which we liked.
Yeah, obviously still got a lot of mates over here. Have a look at that. I'm a bit worried about him when he with that pillow because he sent me some other photos which he won't be able to show with it. And there's all sorts of tackle and everything all over it. So.
And is it true that he's rang you a couple of times, or phoned in and just
Rung
said...
you?
Yeah, phoned in. And
He's rung you.
phoned in.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, exactly. I knew because we're a country boy.
Yeah,
and he has asked you, first of all, which tap is the hot one and which tap is the cold one. And then he couldn't find the power box.
Yeah, we kept getting burnt in the shower. So I said the cold tap's the one with the blue on it, and the red one's the one that'll burn you. But he couldn't find the water meter the other day. So
where was he looking, Ben?
He was looking in the roof. Yeah, had to point that one out to him. But yeah, he's a great mate of mine, Tex, and I do miss him.
Yes, Emma?
He hasn't rung you, Bill, not rang you. And mind you, it's anti-bullying week.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
stop
these are.
bullying.
And now, Gary, I hope you were serious when you said that it happened quickly. Because when I saw Bernie out there, I should admit this, I thought, surely Bernie's meant to be elsewhere tonight. I'm sure his side is engaged in some premiership
You
points.
didn't catch up with the off-season movements.
And he said, I'm playing for the Demons, and I said, bullshit.
There was a big headline, Sam.
What?
Huge headline. You know how old the Melbourne Footy Club is, the oldest club in the
world.
In the world, and a great club with tradition and history. And
Checker Hughes, Noel McMahon.
Ivor Warren Smith,
yes.
some of the greats, real tough bastards.
Traditionalists.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have
Ron
a look at this.
Barassi.
Have a look at this, Sam. This is Bernie, right? I missed a few curfews in my jocks in the local pub. Mate, what do you reckon they're thinking about the old timers there?
Well, I'll tell you what, they did a full interview, and right at the end they mentioned that, and that was the main grab, the big headline. So I've told Roosie I've changed since then, and that's
We'll
the thing
ask
of
him
the
when he
past.
gets out.
Well, we have loved your work for a long time, Bern, and especially Grand Final Footy Show, where you've been a staple part of that for the last 5 years. And we have an after party that we really enjoy, and you enjoyed it so much that one year you stole Purple's glasses.
Yeah. There it
There
is.
we are.
Poor old Damo's walking around the nightclub and didn't know where he was.
But he is blind too, and I was actually in the toilets with Damo.
Who was blind?
Damo and I were in the
We were all
toilet.
blind at that
Yeah, and you took his glasses, and he's gone, Bill, like he's like a blind man. I go, what, mate? He goes, Bernie's taking me glasses. You've got to get them back. You've got to get them back. And he's walking around. He's hitting walls, getting into the urinal. And you didn't realise.
What happened was I just stood up next to him at the urinal, like you do in the men's. And
exactly.
he was turning more and more into the corner. He got to the stage fright. So I thought, well, I stood there and finished, and he was already standing there before me. So I took him and said, boys, wait for this. And he didn't actually come out. He came down with Billy. Like,
He couldn't see.
he said, don't do that again.
What's that?
He was in the toilets with Damo.
He was. He was going to the toilet.
Standing at the urinal. That's
Oh,
what
the
you
urinal.
generally do,
They
yeah.
might have been having a sniff or something.
Come on, Force. Jeez.
Not at all,
What the
Fox.
hell?
Turn it up.
Ouch.
Yeah, let's move on. Luke Ball joins us. Great to see Luke here. Lucas, we'd love to be here talking about your first round victory against the Dockers, but it didn't turn out that way.
No,
70
it
points
didn't.
was a bit of a belting in the
Yeah,
end.
it was a pretty ordinary performance from us, certainly after quarter time, and we expect better of ourselves, and so do our supporters and members. So the good thing is we've got 2 long weeks to sit on it and stew on it until we have to play Sydney in 2 weeks' time.
Well, that's the bad news, because they had a similar outing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I spoke to my cousin Josh Kennedy today and said, "How's your week been?" He said, "Probably very similar to yours. It's been a tough week, but that's the best thing about footy. You get another crack at it."
You do, Lukey, but you had a great summer, didn't you? A really, really good summer because you got married. Well done, Luke. And married the lovely Amy, of course, and here we are. Xavier College there. Have a look at that. There's a lovely Amy.
Yeah, never thought it'd happen, Bill, but yeah, it was a great day. Yeah,
Well, it was a
fun.
family day. His sister was the MC. His brother was the best man. Mum made the cake. The old man was security. It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
And Bill,
It's not unusual, is it?
Well, it is
for
a
a
bit.
family to be involved in a wedding.
Well, if
No?
you're in Tassie, it's all right.
come on, Bill. Hey, if there's a batting out of your Division 11, you're
Yeah.
David Warner too, by the way, Lucas.
No, I'll wear that. Fair enough.
Not the only one on this panel, though.
No.
This wedding photo come across our desk as well. We thought this is...
Who's that?
This
Look
is
at the setup.
This is Force. I'm not sure if that's your wedding day or not, Force, but that's Marilyn. And,
Honeymoon,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
that's Marilyn.
Big
Yeah.
Max and
A
memories.
ferocious set of lollybags you're rolling with there too, Force.
My wife of the time and the mother of Mark.
Look at
What?
you.
Where was honeymoon? Where do you go back then?
Oh, I can't remember where I went on all my
Lara?
honeymoons, to be honest. I have no idea where I went in any of them.
Now, Force, we need to focus on our man Luke Ball's ability at the grand final review to dance magnificently. And, of course, dancing's a big part of a wedding night. Did you get up and cut the rug?
I did. Yeah, she was a bit nervous about that part of the night, and I said, "Don't worry, babe, just leave it to me. Just walk out and then."
Yeah. Not only did he do it on grand final night, Kim.
He then went to his own B&F.
Can't believe it.
Have a look at this.
Give me some stage time at the B&F. I want another go at it. What's that about?
It's my only chance of getting up on stage at the B&F, so I thought I'd take it. But it was a bit of a sombre night coming off the loss to Port Adelaide, so I thought we might try and...
Who's the bloke
That's enough, I think.
No. It's not
My
enough.
backup dancer.
That was at the best of Ferguson. Bernie, you love a bit of dancing, of course, and you were pretty good in our player reviews over the years, haven't you been?
Yeah, no, I've been fantastic.
No, you haven't.
As you can see here.
Look at Bernie.
Oh, it's a bit slow.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
There he is. Look at Bern there.
He came back
What are you
for more,
doing,
Bern.
Bern? Oh, you're out of whack, mate. Come on.
We appreciate the players' support on the grand final review always, and the great news is that Lukey Ball and Bernie are both committed again to the end of the year, so we look forward to having you there, boys, when grand final comes around. Hey, footy news kicking around. Damien Barrett is the best man in the business, and it all centres around the Sydney Swans this week after their loss, of course, on the weekend to GWS. Lots of rumours swirling around. Let's go straight to the man that knows more than any other, and welcome Damien Barrett. Welcome, Damo.
Thank you, Jace. The talk around the physical confrontation between Buddy Franklin and a teammate there is certainly off the mark, Gaz, but significant issues have surfaced, nevertheless, between Franklin and his new club. We've been told from the people who do know that he's yet to buy into the requirements of the playing group, and we do know they are very strict requirements of that playing group. He's yet to connect properly with the football club in general, and we can also tell you that late last month, in his very, very first match for the Swans, there were many fiery confrontations between himself and his new teammates. They were dismissive words said between Franklin and his teammates, and there was a lot of aggression between Franklin and his new teammates. And the angst was levelled at Franklin about not being in the right positions at certain parts of this game, and the words were certainly flying. And this has come from West Coast players who were taken aback by the level of aggression in those exchanges. The Daniel Hanbury issue, guys, is an issue in its own right, and there are some at the club, not everyone, but some at the club are also concerned about Franklin's influence on Hanbury himself. And I will be back later in the program with more news, including someone Carlton and also Tanya Hurd's latest crack at the AFL.
All right, that's interesting, Damo. Boys, go to a new club. Burn, you're there. Lukey, you've done it as well. There's an assimilation period, and I'm not as concerned if the Sydney Swans players have been aggressive at him in terms of giving him direction out on the ground. I think it's what makes that footy club such a great footy club, that they are strong in their requirements of their new players.
I couldn't agree more, Gaz. Yeah, it's as you said. You know, he's new. He's just trying to fit in. You know, we were the same. Bernie would be the same at Melbourne, and I was certainly the same at Collingwood. And, the stuff levelled at Dan Hanbury. I've heard that they're calling him the new Josh Gibson, all this sort of thing. Well, Josh Gibson just won the best and fairest in a premiership team, so that's not the worst. The worst endorsement you can get. So a little bit hysterical for mine.
Ben, what about fitting into a new footy club? I mean,
it's
head down first of all.
Well, that's you got a point to prove, don't you, to your new teammates, and I think Lukey would have been exactly the same. Wanted to start off on the right foot, but certainly there's certain standards that you got to live up to, and if they're not getting lived, I guess your leaders, I guess, at the club tell you are quick to tell you at good footy clubs. So I can understand it.
There might be a fiscal disparity, Gary. The gap between those who have and those who have not might be causing some angst.
I reckon that's an issue at footy clubs. I seriously
You don't?
No, I think everyone respects their teammates' entitlement to do as good a deal as they possibly can, and I think that's pretty much across the board. I know this is a unique one, given the length of the term, but I think they copy.
We respect how much you earn, which is about 5 times
Exactly
more than
right.
us.
It's exactly right.
Look, he's not complaining. There's not one issue.
not
that's
disputing
just
it.
washed over him like we've said hello. Hey, speaking of this unbelievable show, next. He's very rarely flummoxed. Look at him. He's
We've got no comeback.
Well, we're going to...
Next Wednesday night, 9:30, The Footy Show, everybody. Make sure you're tuning in. And, of course, the people here, Stevie J is going to be our special guest. Brian Lake, as well, will be on the panel. Next Wednesday, The Footy Show, 9:30, special time, special night.
And there's a special night tonight. Paul Roos, Dustin Fletcher, still to come with plenty more on The Footy Show.
Tonight on The Footy Show, swinging on by will be two greats of the game. Paul Roos, the saviour. Can this coaching superstar turn the D's around? Come on, Roosie, give Gary something to smile about. And Dustin, oh no.
How'd you like to be triplets and the only one on the bottle?
I don't understand that.
Well,
Now that's sharp, razor sharp. All coming up tonight on The Footy Show.
Dustin Fletcher, 20 years in the game. Fletcher arriving. Can he outrun Fletcher? No, sirree. And what a terrorist streak he's been for the Bombers over those 20 seasons.
It's been a long journey and one that, I'm still looking forward to. I think I've kept my pace and that enables me to get to contests. I'm still enjoying my footy. I feel like I'm still, doing my bit for the team. So, there's no reason to sort of give it up yet.
He has saved Essendon so many times. Inspector Gadget.
He's got the longest legs I've ever seen with broken arms. I think he's the fullback of the last 10 years.
He's got the 12. He's got plenty of carry. It's going. It's going. It's gone.
A lot of the times you're one out against these, I suppose, champions of the game. And it was tough. And I suppose playing on those guys, when I was quite young, you sort of didn't think about it as much.
Fletcher. Oh, careful, boys. Fletcher.
I think Simon enjoys having that record, so there's been quite a few people, come up to me and say, can you try and knock his record off? So, we'll see if I can try and chase him down.
Any way you care to measure, this is one of the all-time greats of not only the Essendon Football Club, but the AFL/VFL, set to play game number 379 tomorrow night against the North Melbourne Football Club, and in doing so, breaking Simon Madden's all-time game record at the Bombers. He doesn't appear often. We can't wait to chat to Dustin Fletcher.
put that over your knees if you get a bit, get a bit chilly, mate. I'll put it over my knees anyhow. It's fantastic to have him, isn't it?
Hey?
Fantastic to have
It
him.
is one of the great records of all time, Dusty. And how do you feel about it? We don't, as Jim said, we don't hear from you much, we don't see you much. You've kept an unbelievably low profile given you've been in the game for 20-odd years. How are you feeling on the eve of this unbelievable milestone?
Oh, probably, to be honest, just like any other game. It's the first game of the year, and we, our form, the first 2 or 3 games haven't been the best. So, yeah, just like any other game, a bit nervous, and Friday night game, so it's going to be a big one. So looking forward to it.
Hey, the low profile must be by choice, because when you're as good a player as you've been, there would have been interview requests every week. You don't do many, so you obviously don't like it.
Oh, not that I don't like it. It's just I've got other things on, and
What have you got on?
I'm just busy, Bill. I've got a couple of kids I've got to look after, and a few things like that.
They're 33, your kids.
Speaking of the kids, actually, very nice that you brought the kids in tonight. They're over here on a table. There Mates and Ethel and Doris.
Very good.
Bill,
there's all your kids.
Come on, Willis.
What are you looking at, Bill?
That's Mary and Rose and Emma. I used to go to the Palais to dance with those. We used to do the Continental back in the 50s. Yeah, you're right.
Lovely to see them. Hey, Dustin, I want to ask you about footy when you started. It's changed the whole way the game's play's evolved.
Yes.
Your frame has stayed pretty much the same over the journey. Now, when we all played, all these boys, and not so much you, Jim, but when we played, we were forced to get into the weight room. It was all at one stage about getting big, but you've maintained a really lean frame. So how'd you do that?
Oh, well, I probably should have been in the weight room a bit more, but I wasn't the hardest trainer when I first got down there, but I did start at, I think, about 79 kilos, and believe it or not, I got up to about 102.
Did you?
So, and I'm back down to, I played about 91, 92 now, so it, and the game has changed, and it's an endurance game now. You've got to be able to run some big distances. So that's where I try and keep the weight at.
Now, I played with your dear old dad, so he was about the same build because it's in the genes. Now, but I want to ask you this, following on from what Gary said. 20 years you've been doing it, mate. I think I noticed the way it's changed in 20 years. Have you noticed it has changed a hell of a lot, or because you play every year, it just sneaks up on you and you just roll with it? Or have you noticed the absolute change in the way the game's played?
To be honest, I think you've just got to roll with the changes. Like, I know when the pre-season starts and you play your first couple of games, you get an indication on how the game's being played. And, you know, as I said, I've been lucky enough to keep my pace. I think I can still get to contests and, you know, I can still obviously kick. I'm, you know, not too bad at kick. So I think you've got to be able to kick the footy these days and you've obviously got to be able to run long distances.
Fletch, just on your dad, I know my mum and dad like coming to watch most of my games, but I've played about half as many as you. How many have Mr. and Mrs. Fletcher been to out of 378, and are they sick of going to the footy?
No, they have been to quite a few. They go, you know, they buy their membership or they get whatever Dad's got life member, and they go every week. So they still enjoy it, and you know, they've probably been to interstate. They probably don't go as much, but you know, they still enjoy it, and they have a good time going to watch.
Well, we can tell you, Dusty, 360, we're told, of the 378 games that your mum and dad have been to.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That is unbelievable. Well done to Mr. and Mrs. Fletcher. And you would have, it's unbelievable because we played against this man, Gary, you and I. And I retired 17 years ago and he's still going. And how did you go against us two, do you reckon, there, Fletch?
Oh, actually, Bill wasn't too bad at kick, but he was a bit slow. He took a while to get there.
You're talking to me, don't you?
You know, a very good player, and obviously Gaz, he was around when obviously Alan Jakovic was one that did kick.
Well, you're saying you went to the more dangerous force?
He kicked a few on me, but Gaz was, you know.
We got some vision. Let's have a look at it here. I found some vision here. Let's look at Gazza. Here he goes. Just sneaks out the back.
Oh, judgment, Bill. It's about judgment.
Oh, look at this. Just sneaks out the back here. You watch this one for this one. Oh, Fletch just goes bang, gets it away. Come on, Gary.
I thought there's only going to be one highlight here.
Oh, yeah. Didn't do too much.
No, not much at all.
And you, Bill?
Well, I found some more vision. And it's when we played on each other, Fletch. So let's have a look at the video. Look at that. Ruck work. Straight down. Oh, on the left. You must be turning inside out. I've never seen that.
Hey, Bill, how many did you kick on the great man that day?
I got 5 on Fletch.
What, you got more than 5 for the game?
Finished with 9.
Bill, how many did you finish with?
9.
Dustin, we went back to champion data. The highest Bill ever kicked against Essendon was 8, and it was before you started in 1992. So you are a bull artist.
Well, yeah, but no, great memories, aren't they, Dust?
Hey, Dustin, I want to ask you, we saw the vision at the start. You played on some of the most intimidating footballers the game's ever seen.
We just saw that.
Talking about Jason Dunstall, talking about Gary Ablett Sr., talking about Wayne Carey, but mainly Tony Lockett. You were still at Penley Grammar and you had to play on that unbelievable footballer.
Yeah, it was tough, and I say to everyone, my first year, to be honest, was on some great forwards, and there'd be games I got, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals kicked on me, and you just had to, sometimes you copped it, because out at Waverley even with Jason Dunstall sort of, it was just me and pretty much him in the whole 50, and you got Darren Jarman and a few of them, putting them down his throat. It's pretty tough, but I suppose I learnt my lesson early that you just got to probably not take yourself too seriously, to be honest, because if I had have done that, I wouldn't have been playing, this long.
Brent?
Now, Fletch, I was just reading a stat here. 36 players on your list hadn't started primary school when you played your first game. So I was just interested. I'm a big believer in the social activities. So just wondering what you do with the young guys. Do you go for the boys are into the lattes now, or do you go for a beer, or you play cards, or bingo?
I'm a little bit old school. Obviously, the tunnel, as we all know, the tunnel shut down some time ago. So that's well and truly well and dusted. But I'm quite happy for a beer at home, and the young boys still get out. Obviously when they can. But you know, every time there's a club function or something that, you know, every now and then I'll sneak out with them and get a few into me.
Is there a generation gap, Fletch? I think that's where we're getting at. I mean, there's a photo here of a young Dyson Heppel back in his...
Look at that.
I guess he rocked up at a junior footy clinic somewhere along the way and now you run out with him on a weekend. Do you struggle to relate to these guys or not?
Yeah, at times you do. Like I said to someone just the other day, there's times when you just sort of go and you're lucky and you just sit there because, you know, some of the stories you hear... you can't relate to, or you're a little bit old, and you know, even the music they follow, and it is a little bit different. But we've got some good mature guys there that I can speak to.
Now, Dustin, if anyone needed supplements,
Oh, now, Fletch.
could I suggest it would be your good self? What have you jammed into yourself over the years, mate?
Come on,
What do you
Foss.
have most trouble with, the hammies or the back or the knees or
I'm not
just getting out of bed? What?
What is not? I haven't got, my legs aren't that big, so I've never really done a hammy or a calf. I've had a few knee and ankle issues, but nothing that worries me too much. So maybe in 4 or 5 years I might be. I might knock
Well,
up.
Dust, let's have a look who you're going to be up against on Friday night. It is a massive game. The Kangaroos take on the Essendon Footy Club. Big year for North Melbourne, Jimmy Boy. Finished 10th on the ladder, 12 losses. You've got one new player here, and it is a famous North Melbourne name. Luke McDonald, the son of Donald McDonald, makes his debut, and the North Melbourne people very excited about this young boy. Lockie Hansen plays game number 100. That is a good-looking North side. And here's the Bombers. Finished 9th on the ladder. Of course, missed out in the finals. Patrick Ambrose, Martin Gleeson and Zach Merritt, who we had on the Footy Show last week or a couple of weeks ago, all make their debut for the Essendon team. The milestone for Paddy Ryder, 150 games. He ain't getting a look in, I'm telling you. And Jake Carlisle plays game number 50. So it is a very big game, boys. The Kangaroos have got high expectations.
Yeah, massive game, probably the game of the round, Gaz, I think, and real toss of the coin. I read here that North Melbourne haven't won the first game of the year since 2010, so I know they'd be pretty keen to rectify that, and I think they just might, sorry Fletch, spoil the party.
Yeah, I reckon North Melbourne get off to a good start, but I reckon Essendon might overrun them. In Fletcher's big 379th game, hopefully they can get up for him.
Yeah, I'm with Bally here. I think North will win this game, beat Essendon. And good luck to Bomber Thompson. How you found him, all right?
No, he's been good, Bomber. Yeah. He's been, I've copped a few sprays, but yeah, Bomber's he's fantastic. Yeah. His enthusiasm and the way he goes about it's been great.
What about Kevin over all those years? Did you understand anything she'd said to you at any stage?
To be honest, not as much as some people, but again, like he mellowed as he got a little bit older. But yeah, no, he's been great for me. He put me in my first game and coached me for 15 years.
Of course, the certainty card's in play,
I
Bill.
was just going to say.
No, I'll wait. Thank you, Gary.
You correctly
pick with absolute careful intent.
Your
Gary.
thoughts here, Force?
Well, it would be just history that Essendon tragically had a bad end to last year, and it'll be very interesting to see how they've recovered.
Who are you tipping?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. I would like to tip Essendon just to start with.
Well, just get off the fence.
To start with, I'm tipping Essendon just to start with. And if they get a flogging, that might be it for the year.
Hey, Gary, very quickly, I want to congratulate Scott and Lauren Thompson, who tonight greeted the beautiful young Genevieve into the world. I understand the little baby girl and mum are both well, so to Scooter, well done.
Fantastic news. Well, Dusty, before we let you go, mate, we've got a couple of young boys who they tell me go all right. Mason's in year 8 and Max is in year 6. So you get along and watch them play?
Yeah, they go all right. They a little bit like me. The old one's he's going to be quite tall, I think, and the younger one shows a bit of run. So whatever they want to do, I'm sort of happy. If it's footy, it's footy. If it's something else, you go with it.
And you've got a signing session coming up, I understand?
Yeah, it was at the True Value Solar Centre just after recovery on Saturday from 11 till 12. So we might get a few supporters down there.
I'm sure you will, and I think all the Essendon supporters will turn out tomorrow night at Etihad Stadium to watch this great man break the record. It is a great privilege and honour to have him in here tonight, and Dusty, we wish you all the best in the big game against the Kangaroos. Thanks for coming in. Justin Fletcher joining us. We're going to take a break. Sam's mailbag up next.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware. Hardware store in the air for the second year in a Nissan celebrating their 80th anniversary. And while we're on the very serious subject of Nissan, have a listen to this. Last year, we, of course, pulled together a bunch of tradies, Gary, to form the Nissan Navara Tough Love team. You will remember the boys travelled out to struggling local footy clubs in need of a makeover and gave their change rooms and facilities a much-needed overhaul.
Yeah, well, we are very pleased to tell you that we've got a brand new Tough Love team and they're bigger and better than ever before. Joining us this year is Chippy Phil, there they are, Labourer Luke, and painters Jason and Jonathan. As you can see, the boys are up, they're ready to go. But this year's a little different. We're not only looking for local footy clubs in need of support, this year the team are also willing to head out to a school or even the house of a player who has a hard-luck local footy story to tell.
And not only, Gary, is there $10,000 renovation on offer, but our great friends at Nissan, we're going to introduce some in a minute, are willing, Gary, listen to this, to donate this brand new family-proof Nissan X-Trail to our first Tough Love winner of the year.
That is unbelievable. Now listen up very carefully. You can get your hands on this. It's completely new, sleek, stylish design, fossil. Now the option of 5 or 7 theatre-style seats, a flexible cargo system. I know all about it. So if you're a struggling footy club, listen up, or have a real hard luck story, tell us in 100 words or less why you need help from the Nissan Navara Tough Love tradies.
Your footy club may have been damaged. You may have a great clubman or a school footy friend who's been impacted by serious injury. These gentlemen and the mighty Nissan are here to help. To enter, head to the entry page at footyshow.com.au or via the Jump In app. Look at that chariot, everybody.
That is unbelievable. We've been doing this footy show for a long time. We can't do it with the support of unbelievable sponsors, and some of the big heavies from Nissan are in the audience. We want to acknowledge them. Peter Jones, the managing directors here, as our senior execs Greg Moore and Peter Clissold. On behalf of everyone, we appreciate your support, boys. And that is going to get some local footy clubs, local schools or players that have had a tough time very, very excited. Footyshow.com.au or via the Jump In app.
$10,000 and the first winner, that car.
That's first in, best dressed.
That's first in, that thing right there. The X-Trail, brand new, everything's new.
And a red one.
Oh, Bill, have a look at that for a car.
Fast one.
Don't make your stories up because we'll be checking.
No, we'll find out. And the tradies are sensational too, so we love all of that. Now, Force, it is time on the Footy Show for Sam's mailbag.
Stay tuned because we will be introducing a potential world champion, man or woman. I can't tell you what it is. Later on, potential world champion. Titus. Is it Titus?
Yes.
Of Craigieburn. Foss. Missed you out here the other day. Congrats on 21 years. I don't really mean that. I just wanted to give you an excuse for showing yet another champagne cork opening for a cheap laugh.
Oh, no.
That's not good, Foss.
It's pretty good.
Not good at all. Nasty.
Hey?
Nasty.
It's pretty humorous.
It was nasty, though.
It's good fun watching it. Do you have security on Street Talk? If you do, don't take this guy. Now,
the old bulletproof vest,
this is a bulletproof vest.
Not covering much.
That's either Hutchie or Bill. Who is that?
Oh, come on.
No, it's not me.
Hey, Fat, isn't it?
No, hey, Sam, say sorry, Bill.
Yes, sorry. No bullying. That's what that is. And I found this. Now, I'm going to ask you two boys here. And I found this on a bench after you left. He's just... after you left. See if the panel can guess what it is. Bernard, do you know what that is?
Looks like Rob Shirley in the shower.
Right. Do you know what that is?
Bally. Cleaning out Gaz's... cleaning out Gaz's shower.
That's it. That's it.
Nice
Now we'll just. This is. I've never seen this, but just this is true. Roll this. Oh. These are spiders.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
Unbelievable.
That's just a whole bunch of spiders.
Oh, come on.
Champagne.
Do you think it was funnier getting hit in the agates with the cork or the woman getting hit in the hooter with
They
it?
look painful. All.
Helen of Doveton. Could you please ask that man... This is... You think... Oh, I'm making this up. This is absolutely true because we rang this woman. Could you please ask that man at the end of your table, when is he going to finish Specky McGee? She has no idea who she is writing about, but she knows that he writes Specky McGee. I have tried to get in contact via the Melbourne Football Club with no luck. The reason I ask is I am 77 years old and want to make sure I get to the finish. She wants to make sure she gets to the finish of Specky McGee before she gets to the finish of her life.
We better get onto it, Foss.
Well, you better. Well, can you tell her how it ends? How does it end? How many episodes? What book? How many volumes or
8.
episodes?
We've written 8.
And what's he turned to a big
He's about draft age.
humble lad in preschool now to a crack addict? What has he turned into?
No, he's just about the end of the draft, so I've got to work out which team we're going to send him to.
Yeah, he's just over. Helen, her name is. In the meantime, here is it now. Helen, here is another book you can purchase that Gary has had a hand in. These are some of Gary's books.
Yes.
Now, that is...
Nice. I like it.
That is an actual book, Gary. I don't know what it means. That is an actual book.
And
if
Bernard?
you think we've just put the caption onto that for a cheap laugh, that is a woman has written how to play with lions' testicles.
Why would you want to do
Yes,
that?
and we've just seen
That's the point. Why would you want to do with that?
book.
You want to be careful. It'll bite your head off.
Speaking of big books, Gary, I think Burns got an edition here. It's just hit the shelves.
Justin Fletcher gave me this on the way out.
What does it say?
Shit 70-year-olds shouldn't do.
Like, there it is.
Look at the fossils.
Now, it's not finished. Now, and a great friend of ours who was an inaugural member of this show, Trevor Marmalade, he has written this fantastic book. I'm not a race fanatic or devotee, but this is a great racetracks of the world. Trevor has written this in conjunction with Jim McGrath. So if you're interested in racing, that is a fantastic book. It's available, as they say, Gary.
All good bookstores, I would imagine, and online as well. Great racetracks of the
No,
world.
I haven't finished.
I know.
Well, I thought you were going to say if you want to go to Sam's Mailbag.
No,
And incidentally, when we put the caption up, we had Spangly Bangler on last week. And I apologise, I think I said the F word. Because when the caption comes up, if you want to be part of Sam's Mailbag, I assume for 21 years we go off air and the microphones go dead. And Spangler came up there and shook his groin in front of me and I told him to F off. And I apologise. I apologise if it came out over the airwaves. I wasn't doing it for gratuitous laughs.
Push
or
off
smut.
Spandy, I think you said.
And now, Charlie of Buller.
Yes.
Is this in a letter? Yeah. And he says, why didn't you mention last week the bet you had with Swanee about getting a tattoo on your... Why didn't you mention it?
Now, I've heard that you've had a bet with Dane Swan, so I've got a few ideas for you from a tattoo point of view.
Just back over there if you didn't see.
He's come out early, hasn't he?
Just wait.
You're always premature.
And Dane Swan, on the very first show, Sam suggested Collingwood wouldn't make the 8.
Yes.
Dane Swan said they
I was going to say all this, Gary.
Well,
I haven't said it yet.
They had a bet, and if Collingwood, in fact, make the 8, Sam is going to get Swanee's initials tattooed on his rear end. There's Shane over there.
Hi, Gary. I'm over here now. Now, I've had a thought. I've got a few ideas for you, Sam. Now, the first one, if you're going to get a tattoo, we'll keep it nice and straight. We could put Dane Swan's face, the initials there, not too bad. You happy with that?
Yeah,
we can do better than that, Gary.
All right, Shane.
I'm over here now.
Yes.
OK, the second one, we could go with this one. I think it's... it might go this way. And if you look closely, that's my ass on your face, now on your ass. I'm over here now. OK, here we go. What about this one? Sam, if you look at this, I am one of these and it's pointing right to your... That's it. I'm over here now. And the final one, Sam, right here, is putting this right there. And when you bend over, oh, well.
If you want to be part of Sam's Mailbag.
Oh, wait, Gary.
hang on.
There's more. Oh, sorry about that, mate. Right. Okay, if I turn it around, it's very much life size. Yeah. So there you go. Hey.
Sam's Marmite, GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 2001 is the place to send in stuff. Right, Sam's.mailbag at 9.com.au or go to the website footyshow.com.au and just stay there for a minute, Shane.
So,
Now I'm here.
Stay there.
so we're on again, are we? This is how I got to. This is how I got into trouble last week.
We're on.
Right,
Yes.
we're on, are we?
Yes.
Hello, testing.
Yes.
I wouldn't worry about my tipping. So far, Bawley, your side is going beautifully because I think they'll be very lucky to make the 8. What I would worry about if I was you, Shane, is getting your cruet baldly cut next week because you had a bad tip last week and you will be shorn absolutely stone motherless bald next week. This, I promise you.
That's right, last week we had our certainty cards in play. In the ad break, I suggested to Shane that I was going to tip Sydney as my certainty, and he said OK, and then he did this.
Hey,
Every
sorry.
time funny.
Can I? Yes, I beat you. I beat you. Yes. No.
Dal, did I say I was doing this?
First in, best dressed. So I'm going for the Swans.
Yeah, so there you go, smart ass. So,
I'd rather put my head up his backside. Oh, I'm stuck.
the GWS then duly saluted. So there are, Bill and I are still to play our certainty cards. If either of us tip a team that loses by more than 31
Who are you going
points,
for, Bill?
I'm waiting. I'll just wait for this game.
Well, he's not in it. He can't get any bolder than he is. What's he got?
That's fine. We will lose our hair. So if I tip a certainty and it gets done by more than 31,
Just a haircut.
I go bald.
It's just
Can
a
I
trim.
assure-
Same with Bill.
Yeah, we
Can
need a
I assure
whippersnipper.
the viewer
Yes.
that this is not a gimmick? He will be, I promise you, as God is my witness.
Yeah,
Or else
absolutely.
I'll get our special guest later, which I can't introduce, man or woman,
Yes.
to belt the living suitcase out of you. He will be shorn absolutely bald, not the number 1 cut or 2 cut, completely.
And we can tell you he's
bowling
been
ball
to management at Channel 9 to say that he's got postcards and get away.
I've got a family.
And all that sort of stuff. And they turned around and said, bad luck, Shane. So that is the...
Well, do you know what I think of that?
What?
I think that's great. I'm out of here.
So go on, Jim.
All right, that's next week. Make sure you're watching. But now it is time to turn our attention to the footy and the Hawks. Take on the Brisbane Lions down in Tassie. Launceston. This team here have not put a foot wrong since winning the flag last year. They have smashed their way through the pre-season and they come into this as well as any team in the competition. The Brisbane Lions, they take on some nice names involved in this team. James Aish being one of them. This is a highly talented young, very high draft pick, 7 in the draft. Lots expected of him, Lewis Taylor and Michael Close as well. But boys, hard to see how anyone is going to get the better of the Hawks in Lonnie. Luke Ball, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think despite missing 7 of their premiership players from last year, I think they look so sharp in the pre-season. Yeah, for this game, 7 of their players. That's almost a third, isn't it, Sam? Almost a third of their team. They still look so sharp and they've got plenty of depth, so I think they'll be a little bit too strong for the Lions.
Burn?
Yeah, we played the Hawks in the last NAB Challenge game and they taught us a footy lesson down there at Casey, so I can't see how Brisbane are going to get up at Aurora, so Hawks by plenty from there.
Well, if you listen to everyone, it's only Hawthorn and Freo. We may as well stop the season. But Hawks have been very good. Down at Lonnie, they should win. But some great signings for Brisbane during the week. Tommy Rockcliffe, who's a really good player, Green, and Jack Redden. So they're going all right. They're building again under Leper there. So good luck to the Lions, but Hawthorn for me.
Samuel?
Go on, Gary. Tip the... If the Brisbane Lions have got any intestinal fortitude, they will lift so high. I'd love
Brisbane
to...
beat Hawthorn, I'll lose every hair on my body.
Oh, no. We need a whippersnipper and a...
That's okay.
Yeah,
Righto.
so they will win and win well. Tim O'Brien, new player. Derek Wanganeen, also a new player for the Hawks. So that's my certainty. So that's safe. Shane's still nervous. Bill's still got a certainty to tip. We're going to take a break and Paul Roos is going to join us next on the finish. Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to Sports Bet over 230 moments on every AFL match and Repco. What an Auto Store ought to be. We thank them for their ongoing support as well. Fair to say it's been a lean few years for the Melbourne Football Club, but when this man was announced as the coach late last year, the excitement went through the place, and on Saturday night he makes his debut as the Demons take on the St Kilda Footy Club. Please welcome one of the all-time greats of the AFL, Paul Roos. Very nice to see you, Roosie.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you.
This time last year, you were ensconced in the Fox Footy studios.
On the couch.
Relaxed. On the couch. Yeah. You could wander overseas at a whim, and now here you are back in the hot seat. What in God's name are you doing, man?
Yeah, look, thankfully I haven't sort of had those thoughts since I started. I mean, there's a real fear. I mean, you're coming back in, and it took a long time for me to get to where I was to actually signing. So there's certainly a fear when you start. I mean, that was one of the things I was a bit concerned about. You turn up to day one and you're sitting there and you're going, what am I doing? But I actually haven't had those feelings. So it's actually been really exciting. You know, new group of coaches, a lot of new players coming into the footy club. So at this stage, I'm really enjoying it.
Right, so my only question, why? Why do it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a number of reasons. Probably the start of it was when I saw that my tenure at Sydney had sort of finished, and then you got to decide, well, what am I going to do? You start to think about your future and where you're heading. I think the meeting with the leadership group was probably a significant moment. You're putting sort of personalities behind losses. And
so you put a percentage on it, I think, at the time about the level of interest, and then after you'd met that playing group, the percentage jumped somewhat.
Yeah, well, that was probably a pretty significant moment because, I mean, all of us in the media and you make observations, but I mean, they're all really good guys, and no one goes out not to win. You know, everyone tries. So I think that was just putting real characters behind the losses and personalities, and I must admit, when I walked out of there, you sort of think, well, maybe I can help the boys, and it's still a fair way to go after that, but that was probably a pivotal moment.
It must be in you. It must be innate. You and Mick Malthouse, you must have looked at Mick when he made the same decision and thought, what is that man doing that for? And here you are doing it yourself. You can't get it out of your system. You love it.
Oh, look, being involved in footy clubs is great. I mean, it's a great environment. Probably, I said this about 2 weeks ago, if it wasn't so public, it'd be the best job in the world because you go and watch tapes and you're with the players and you train and you get to run around the tan after the boys. So it's a healthy environment.
Yeah, that'd be good.
If it wasn't
I've seen Billy run up Anderson Street Hill. He does very well.
If it wasn't so public, but that's it, Paul. You put yourself on the chopping block every single week.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest difference, that makes it such a high-pressure job because everyone knows the result every single week and, the fans are so great. They come to watch their team compete and win. So that's the part of it you really got to think through. Do you want to put yourself back in that environment rather than the actual coaching side of it? It's really the public side of it more than anything else.
All right, so game day, Rosie, let's project ourselves forward. You're back in the box, and that is one of the most pressured environments anyone could ever experience. How's that going to go?
Yeah, well, I've done it through the NAB Cup, but certainly
different.
round one's very, very different. Look, I tend to think once you get into the box, most of your job's been done. I mean, there's very little you can do on game day. You can sort of change things tactically, you can change matchups, and you can guide the players. But I really feel once you walk into the box, you're really handing it over to the players, and it's really up to them. Hopefully your preparation's done. You train during the week, but all the preparation you do since November. And then, I'm not going to say you're relaxed in the box, it's far from it. But in a way you're saying, look, hopefully we're prepared and hopefully we're ready to go.
It is, because I watched it closer than most because I'm a Melbourne supporter, and it's been brutal watching them for the last 2 or 3 years. Have you had enough time, do you think, to be able to change the way they feel about themselves, the way they're going to play? We've seen them in the NAB Challenge with this high possession game, which was foreign to people who've watched Melbourne. They couldn't get the footy in the last couple of years, and all of a sudden it's 450 plus possessions. Have you had enough time to implement that, and will it stand up on the weekend?
Look, probably not enough. I mean, you'd rather have more, but having said that, the players are ready to play. I mean, you can only do so many sessions pre-season. So, look, have we had enough? Probably not, but I'm still confident we're ready to play. The players have responded really well. I think having guys from other clubs has really helped. There's no doubt there's some scars. I mean, if you're a team that's won 2 games and been belted around the ears, there's some definite scars, and I guess that's what we really don't know. Probably the 3 games were a really good indication. We felt we've really improved, but then we got belted by Hawthorn, and that just gave us an idea of, how far it is to get the old 12-team competition. It was hard enough to get from 12 to 1 in an 18-team competition where we finished 17th. it's a long way to go. And we were really shown that when Hawthorn played against us. We've still got a long, long way to go.
Yeah, big forwards being unavailable ain't helping you either, Roosie, and you've got great stock in this area. Of course, Hogan and Dawes not playing. And Mitch Clark, we don't know enough about the story other than that it needs to be treated really carefully.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, Mitch, he's away from the club now and being looked after medically and making sure he's okay. And look, and the club have been really, really supportive of him. And our main concern now is that he gets right healthy. And then, look, if he comes back to the club at some point, hopefully he gets the footy boots back on. But that's the furthest thing from our mind at the moment.
And you've got some stars at the club there, some very good on-ballers who have been good cross. And this man here, how is he going? Is he training well? And
does he get to training on time?
Yeah, well, he missed training. Nearly missed a game, didn't he, Roosie?
He nearly missed a game. He got the tram. I think I tried to get the tram and then run about 3 Ks and then produced the best on ground. So we're going to get him a tram on Saturday to Etihad Stadium. But no, look, it's been really helpful. I think the guys from outside the footy club have been terrific because Bernie comes with no baggage in terms of the win-loss of the Melbourne Footy Club. Crossy's the same. Dom Tyson, Viv Mitchie. Yeah. I mean, they've all come from a young club in the Giants, but the other 3 have come from successful footy clubs. So having those guys has just been invaluable to the current Melbourne players.
Hey, we love this, Roosie. James Frawley, someone you're going to be desperate to hang on to because he is a star, All-Australian. He was asked at a recent press conference when he'd be re-signing. We know it's tongue-in-cheek, but we liked his answer. Have a look.
Put it out there, Ruz. Hopefully he can sign a couple more years. He does well done.
That's bungaroo speak. If he didn't quite understand that, he said if Roosie signs, he will. That was the gist of what he was getting at.
Yeah, look, I understand. I mean, we're now in an age of free agency, so every club's going to go through it. And look, we need to present a great footy club to James and all the Melbourne players to have them signing. So I don't have a problem with at the moment, with James. He's got every right to just hang on, make sure we're heading in the right direction, and make sure he stays with a good footy club.
Go, Sam.
You said it's been really helpful, him coming over. He's got no baggage. Yet up where you used to coach, there seems to be some conflict up there about people drifting up from premiership sides and playing. You must find that bemusing.
Well, being coach of Melbourne now, it's hard enough worrying about your own football club, let them worry about other football clubs. So, look, we've got enough problems in our own footy club to sort out in terms of our game style and bringing players in, and we've got a new coaching staff. So, look, what happens at other footy clubs certainly out of my control.
As an aside, if I may, in 2007, we met a man out on the streets and he said he was a close working companion of yours. We want to know if you recognise him and if you could back him up, because this was he.
I used to work with Paul Roos.
I beg your pardon, sir?
I used to work with Paul Roos.
Paul Roos?
Paul.
I thought you said I used to work in a ballroom.
No.
You used to work at the Sydney Swans?
No, I used to work for Deodora.
Yeah, Deodora.
We used to work together, Paul Roos and myself.
What did you used to do at Deodora, sir?
Paul Roos, I was a cleaner over there for a while.
Are you a janitor? I see. So you used to work with him. You were cleaning, he was running the company.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, he was
I suppose you were working with him.
Yeah,
That's
he was a very good bloke.
Technically, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the boss of Deodora. Yeah. And that man was a janitor.
Working with the great Bill Tyson, whose son Dom Tyson is now at the Demons. Hey, Billy, let's have a look at this game, please.
Saturday night, Etihad, 7:40 goes, and the Saints did not win a NAB Cup Challenge game. Here they are here. Some newcomers, Luke Dunstan, Eli Templeton and Jack Billings, who big raps on Jack Billings, so good luck to those new boys there. Take on the mighty Demons, who are very pretty good. With a 14-point win over Richmond, and they did all right against Geelong. Hawthorn cleaned them up there, but a couple of new boys there. Jay Kennedy Harris, which is a bit of live wire, I think, Roosie. We'll get that. And Alex, of course, has come from Norwood, and he'll play tomorrow night too. Alex, what's his name? Giorgio, yes. That threw me a little bit. But tell me about Jay Kennedy Harris. He's a bit of a live wire. They like him.
Yeah, he is. Look, he did particularly well against Richmond and gives a bit of speed and agility up in the forward line, and he tackles hard. I think he kicked 3 goals in the last quarter. So, look, he's really had a good pre-season, trained pretty much every session and really earned his position in the side.
68 kilos. He's only a little whippersnipper.
Who you like him, Bully? Have you tipped, Bill?
No, it's another toss of the coin, but yeah, maybe I will. I think I'll tick the Demons, given I'm sandwiched between the coach.
Bill, Long time since Melbourne been at $1.55 from sports.
That is amazing.
They've lost their last 16 games at Etihad.
All right, Bill.
No, well, it's just a little stat, Roosie, that I'm sure you would have went over a couple of times.
Would have went
Yeah, we
over.
covered that, yeah.
Would have gone over, Bill.
Vern, who's impressed you
He
in
went
the
over.
group when you got there? And you've probably seen these boys play a lot. Who's impressed you?
I reckon all the young guys, the young draft picks in Jack Watts and Jimmy Tumpus and Jack Trengove, the way they train is quite unbelievable, and the standards that they have at the footy club. So that was probably the biggest surprise to me coming in. But on Saturday night, we just need to be competitive, and Roosie's spoken about that a lot in the media. Just if we're competitive for long enough, we'll win the game. So I think the result will take care of itself. If we're competitive enough, we can win.
Yeah, Samuel, we're all hanging on your tip. Absolutely hanging on.
No reflection, please, on Alan Richardson, because he hasn't started his campaign.
And we wish him well too.
Of course we do, but I think it's extraordinary that Melbourne would be favourites, and they'll be favourites for one reason only, because he's in charge.
It certainly helps. There's no question. And also, Rosie, unbelievably, the Saints have had no luck, given that Stevens, Montagna, Del Sano gone, McAvoy gone. It's a very young group, probably as young a group as you'll come up against, aside from the expansion side.
Yeah, look, it's every coach's nightmare when you're going through pre-season, the losing players. So, look, they're in a similar situation, trying to build their football club and build their brand and their style of football. But they've got some talented young kids coming in, and that's the exciting thing for both teams. I think some young, talented boys running around.
Let me do the implore the Melbourne supporter base.
Yes.
31,000 at the moment, 345. It's up 3,500 on last year, which is great. 6,000 are unrenewed. If ever there's a reason to sign up again, it is now. Joined by 5 o'clock tomorrow night, you go on the draw to win a car, thanks to AHG, the new sponsor of the Melbourne Footy Club. What you do, the Essendon bloke's going to sign up. And as a club, the Melbourne boys want to get to 40,000 to enable to compete with the big footy club. So go to melbournefc.com.au, get on board, get the Etihad Stadium and watch the Demons take on the Saints.
Hey, just back to James Frawley's comment before, you're going to go well and it's going to get better. There's great sizzle and mojo now behind this great old club. Are you ready for the fact that at pretty much every press conference you give, they're going to say to you, are you going to tip it out for another year? Are you going to extend? What's your standard answer going to be there?
No, not really. I think at the moment everyone's pretty clear. If it does become a problem for the footy club and they say, look, Rizzy, we need an answer, I'll decide as quickly as possible. But, I mean, Peter and Glenn understand where I'm at, and, we've just got to start competing, as Bernie said. I mean, it's not about myself, it's about our footy club and going in the right direction, and that's what we're focused on.
And so before Bill jumps in, so it is 2 years with your option of a third. The successor is to be identified this year and in place by the end of the year. Is that the plan?
Yeah, look, that's the ideal model. I think we'd like to, identify some candidates, not go after them during the year. But I think one of the interesting thing about coaches now, assistant coaches, they're very reluctant to throw their hat in the ring, because if you get knocked around a couple of times and you don't get the job, you're almost seen as unemployable. I mean, Kenny Hinkley's a great example of that. And he's a terrific coach, obviously. But he sort of got knocked back a couple of times. Richo was the same. You mentioned he was reluctant to put his hat in the ring against St Kilda, got the job. So, what we found last year, we probably had a lot of coaches that may be thinking, will I or won't I? We need to maybe work with the Coaches Association, see who... A lot of assistant coaches don't want to be senior coaches for a start. So ideally, we'd like to have that position in place at the end of the year.
And the family are very happy you've decided to do this?
Tammy's down there.
Down where?
Down at the club. Hey, speaking of that, if the coaching thing doesn't work out, Sam, he can always come back to Channel 9 and come on the Footy Show, because look at this. Look at Rosie there. This is in the very early days.
First year.
I think it was first year,
Well, first year, very early days.
What about the tie?
Look at that, Rosie. How good you were a spunk.
Looked like a film star.
And, mate, you were the 4th panellist ever on the Footy Show, the baggy blue is back. 14 shows on the Footy Show. Well done, mate. The baggy blue.
Got a lot of honours bestowed upon you, Rosie. I reckon that one's right up there. Mate, we appreciate you coming in. We didn't see a lot of you when you're up in your Sydney days. We hope to see a lot of you down here. And good luck to you and the Melbourne Footy Club and the Saints for Saturday night. Thanks for coming. Paul Roos joining us on the Footy Show. Doug, plenty more still to come.
Still to come tonight, yes. Willis brings us the biggest hangers from footy legends last year. The final instalment of the boys on the Kokoda track, And Sam takes Street Talk to, in my opinion, the city of Hume's finest, little old Craigiebird.
Sing happy birthday to my mother-in-law. She's sitting over there.
What do you think? We're wandering around. Do you think we should just a travelling Wilburys? Happy birthday to you.
And the Foss introduces us to this man, the big bad boxer, Alex Leopi. You should show him a few moves, Samuel. Back soon.
Welcome back to the Footy Show, and it is a brand new year, Lukey boy. And don't we have some massive brand new prizes?
Some amazing prizes, Bill. Thanks to our friends at Sportsbet, they're providing an amazing weekly prize of $1,000 for our winner.
Hey, well read, well done. First up, have a look at these, some magnificent grabs from last year. North Albury take on Myrtleford. Have a look at this grab by the North Albury player here. Kick deep into the forward line. Ho-ho! You're guilty. Look at that, Lukey.
That is a big hanger.
Good grab.
Go number 2, a familiar face here. Bombers forward Leroy Jetta gets some serious hang time.
Leroy.
Their reserves team over Werribee and shows him a bit of candy.
This
too.
is what we want sent in. All these will win you those fantastic prizes. This is from the Geelong Footy League versus Golden Valley Footy League. That is Shaden Bloomfield, I think it is. Have a look at that. Great player in the Geelong GFL. That is a good club down there at Timbers Stadium, of course. Send your entries to Almost Footy Legends GPO Box 9 Melbourne 3001. Don't forget you can upload your legends directly to the website at thefootyshow.com.au. Gazza?
Done, Bill. Now, before we...
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. With over 230 markets on every AFL match, check out sportsbet.com.au. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in home gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 cash. All up, that's a $50,000 prize. What about that as a way to kickstart the renovation you always wanted? So if you want to do it right, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
There you go, Billy boy. That's it. Been in the game for a while, haven't you? Hey,
the prize
last week.
Yes, well, that is when the mic does go off.
Don't talk over my prize read, Gary.
Well, don't throw to me, Bill. Now, before we go on, the game tonight down at Skilled is over.
Just a minute. What? Don't tell them. What about the people in Adelaide who are half an hour behind and the people in Perth? Don't tell them the score, because you'll ruin it for them.
Well, don't tell them, because this is my certainty. This is my certainty.
Hang on.
Hang on.
To it, Bill.
Stupid fat. Sorry, but no bullying. No, it's no
Samuel,
bullying.
the game is played and won regardless of where you are in the street.
No, but they're half and they won't have the show by
I
now.
know that, you idiot, but the
game's
game's
finished,
over.
Doesn't matter where it
but,
is.
but they won't have got our show, and then they might be not knowing who won, Gary.
Foss.
And if you're in Perth, be 3 hours before
Well, if
they
they're
know.
watching the show,
What?
which is irrelevant,
It's
the game's
live
finished.
on Fox anyway, wherever you're living, Foss.
It's over. Hey, very
Well,
considerate.
you ruin it for them in the other states.
It's not
Go on,
being
then.
ruined. So now you can play your certainty.
go on,
Who are
Bill.
you going to tip before
I'm
I
going to
get...
pick the Cats.
All right.
Going out on a limb. There you go, Wilbur.
All right, Bill's picked Geelong,
Bill's
and
picked
they have
Geelong.
won the Cannons. 38 points, if you don't mind. Look at those numbers there. Familiar names, Joel Selwood, Stevie J with 30 plus. Jimmy Bartell's kicked 4. Mitch Brown with 3. I can't even see that.
And Joel Selwood kicked 2.
He did. And Wright, Yenshi and Sam Kerridge, high possession winners for the Adelaide Crows. It was a moving tribute to Dean Bailey, of course, who was an assistant coach over there at Adelaide. Hamish McIntosh got things away. I think a first kick in Geelong jumper as well.
Yeah, straight through the middle. Look at that.
Paddy Dangerfield, the staff for Adelaide Crows, was really well held by Cam Guthrie, but what about this? Jimmy from the boundary, Paddy from the boundary. Jimmy Bartell took the game by storm. Sensational second quarter, kicked 3 goals in the second quarter.
He did.
And gave one away as well, so he's going to spend more time up forward.
Looks pretty open, Gary.
Pretty open game, Force.
Sam, it is, yeah.
We
Look
watched
at the lights.
Paddy Dangerfield there, just getting the Adelaide Crows in front in the last quarter.
No.
And then it was all over.
Oh, Stevie!
Mitch Brown, Stevie J, getting the job done.
Mitch Brown.
hopefully this is a sign. How open is that game?
Well, we watched
Fast
the first
running.
quarter and a half, boys, didn't you? It was a very fast-flowing game, but they got headed in the last quarter and then must have just gone, hey, enough of that, 38 points.
A couple of other things, Lucas, that we saw in this game. Firstly, Josh Caddy got kicked in the head. A bit of friendly fire, but have a look at the claret that comes out of this young man's box.
That's nasty.
So he went down in a screaming heap and then got carted off with, as I say, claret flowing everywhere. Okay, just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
But it's a tough game, Luke Ball.
It is, Jim.
You had plenty of those, Bally. Yeah, and of course, Jimmy Bartel playing game number 250, kicked the 4, kicked 3 1/4 to open the whole thing up, was acknowledged by the Geelong faithful. Carried off the ground, and that is a very nice way to open the season, I would have thought, Bill, for your boys. And the old Crows, they must have been competitive, Burn, to be able to be in front in the last quarter at Simmons Stadium.
Yeah, Geelong started well, and it's one of the toughest things to do is go down there and win. So, yeah, they to their credit, they fought back and hit the front. But yeah, as I said, Geelong very hard to beat down there.
Bet you're happy you've ruined it for half the country.
You are borderline.
You're a killjoy.
You're smarter than this. Now, you ever think about it? You be quiet and ever think while we talk to our next guest.
Take borderline out of that sentence, Gary. Time for us to welcome the best newsbreaker back. Damien Barrett, everyone. He's here. Purple. Start by asking you where Carlton and Bryce Gibbs are at.
Yeah, JB, they've got a challenge to retain him as a Blues player, but we raise his name tonight not for those reasons. There are other reasons. He's one of 3 big-name Carlton players who has lost money in a failed investment in property, which was arranged by a former director of the Carlton Football Club. The other 2 players are Mark Murphy and Cade Simpson. The director was Richard Newton. The property was in Mount Eliza some years ago. It got affected by the global financial crisis, and the players and the director all lost money, collectively in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Newton was a strong candidate as recently as late last year to replace Stephen Kernahan as president of the football club. He has since resigned from the board. That happened late last year. We've been told that the failed property investment was a reason that he stood down from the board. He has denied that. We did contact him, put that to him, denied that being the case. We also asked the AFL for a comment on whether this investment infringed upon the AFL salary cap rules. There was no comment at all from the AFL. That is standard practice when it comes to specific matters, but Carlton and the players' managers have told us that the AFL was aware of every aspect of this deal.
So the salary cap implications obviously would be the greatest concern with these sorts of things, but we think that's going to be okay?
Well, we think it's going to be okay. It is uncommon, though, for footy clubs to get directors involved in this, and other clubs are aware of this situation and they cannot believe that this club, Carlton, has gone down this path with its own players, with a director.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. James Hird spoke on Wednesday night on the Hanger on the Essendon Footy Club website.
Yeah, and they're just 24 hours before the club's season opening match tomorrow. The Hird camp has again put itself and played itself as the victim in this battle with Asada and the AFL. This is James Hird's wife, Tanya, earlier tonight on ABC program 7:30.
I heard David Evans say to James on speakerphone, I was taking notes, I take a lot of notes, on the 25th of July, David admitted that he said to James, go into Asada and tell the whole truth, but don't say what Andrew Demetrio told us.
This is not the first time that the Hird camp has gone down this path, that there is a different version of events as to who alerted whom at which particular point in time. But it's incredible timing that James Hird 2 nights ago on the club's website and also its own program on pay TV can do what he did, and then for Tanya to then come out tonight at a time when the club is pleading with everyone, absolutely everyone, to move on from what James Hird put the club through. They've asked us in the media to do the same. Mark Thompson is wanting everyone to move on, and yet here's the man who's going to come back round 1 2015 through his wife, putting out a very provocative statement 24 hours before.
He's going to put the torch to it again, doesn't he?
Nah,
it does. It does. And just on that too, Sam, before you have your say, Andrew Demetrio, I've conversed with him tonight on text message and doesn't want to comment at this stage.
You cannot blame the other camp for fighting for their reputation.
No, that's true.
You cannot blame and their soul and their credibility.
Strange timing.
If it keeps
2
going,
days before the first game.
If it keeps going and going, and it was started last week because Asada wiped their hands of it and put an independent body in, how weak is that? What sort of toothless tiger is that, Mike?
No, we're not talking about that.
That came up.
They had a chance last year, Sam. They ultimately accepted the sanctions that the AFL gave them, and now they're playing this out after the event. Guys, the AFL this week has put in place a series of really strict protocols around how clubs can interview draft age players. It's a strictly worded directive. It's gone to the clubs this week, and it comes after a few few incidents last year where young players were left extremely intimidated by the various questioning of AFL clubs. There was one incident last year where 13 club officials sat in on one particular interview with a player and he was left quite stressed and distressed over it. It got back to the AFL, hence this directive going out to clubs tonight. Look, they haven't been able to, at all, do any screening of a physical nature, a mental nature or a medical nature, but that was creeping into these interviews with players. And there have been examples of players, even subsequent to the interview itself, being asked to go online to complete online questionnaires. And one particular request for a player involved 300 questions around psychology. So the AFL, it's a serious crackdown, and it has got to an issue where young players were being left seriously distressed.
How'd you go, Byrne, with 300 psychological questions?
No good. Text would be worse, though.
On another matter of integrity, as of last weekend, Sam, major adjustment to a player's preparations for a match. Phones. Every single phone owned by a player must be left at the door upon entry to the dressing room. Cannot get it back until the end of the game. Only 10 to 12 designated match day officials of each club can keep a phone before and during a match. Look, the players have accepted it pretty well. The only disruption they've really got is that their music is on their phones, but that is the only disruption.
Twitter and Instagram.
And Sam.
Paulie, you're the president
Yes,
of the Players
Luke.
Association.
Oh, you said mute. There's Twitter and Instagram as well. The boys are filthy.
Music.
No.
What do you need music? What do you need?
It's
music?
integrity. I mean, cricket is about this for
The
some
boys
time, but
understand it. Yeah,
it's been
it's
interesting.
for a good cause.
GWS Giants captain Gaz, Phil Davis has walked for the first time since his very serious kidney situation of last weekend. He's been in hospital since, out of intensive care today, even back up and eating. Still no time frame though on his return to football. Still a watch this space.
An unbelievable effort from Phil Davis. Injury occurred in the first quarter of that game against Sydney. Played the whole game, was in the rooms afterwards, sang the team song and then collapsed. So we wish Phil well and hope that he can come back fitter and stronger. That's it, Warrior?
That's it.
Very nicely done. Damien Barrett.
What a crop.
Music is a big part of the preparation of modern footballers. They get it in there, it thumps, it gets them up and about. When was the last time you were in a set of dressing rooms before a game of football?
Well, I was in them for 18 years,
No,
Jim,
but
and
the
the
last
day
time
I
I
need
said-
music to crank me up to play for the side that I'm employed by.
Everyone's different.
Oh, everyone's different. What do they listen to?
It's actually more the
It's
opposite.
What's that, Lucas?
gratuitous.
Excuse me?
I
Luke's
think it's
in the...
probably more the opposite now. It's more to calm guys' nerves down, I would have thought.
Well, you
Than the
want to be
opposite.
up and about and nervous and jittery and
I don't
ready to
usually
go
say, but
make
yeah.
music. What a lot of
What
crap.
about if your special guest comes in shortly and says, I need music to get myself
Yeah,
up?
I would think it'd be a great idea for it, and I'd be interested to hear that, and I could easily change my mind.
Now, we need to straighten up a touch here because next week a segment's coming on this show that has to be, quite frankly, seen to be believed. You may have seen on Foxtel, what they do is to celebrate the win in a grand final, they get all of the key people and some key commentators back in and they go over the game, show the vision, ask about the key moments. Grand final recall is what it's called. It's especially for the punters whose teams won. It's an unbelievably compelling piece of television. So after our 21st year is being celebrated
They're
this
not
year,
showing this.
we decided to do something similar on Tuesday night. We got in and we celebrated some of the, well, if I'd be saying great moments, I'd be a long way off the mark.
Lowlights.
Some of the stuff that really didn't fly over the journey, it has to be said.
Well, don't show it.
I blame Gary for nearly all of the ones that didn't work.
All
but
of it.
What we're going to do here is a sneak peek of what happened on Thursday night. It was confrontational. It wasn't a lot of fun. We basically all ended up sucking our thumb in the corner. Here we go.
From the makers of the Big Bill House comes the Footy Show's most controversial segment in 21 years. If I could turn back time, 5 men, 1 room, and a lot of crap television.
This was Gary's idea.
Right, go, dickhead. How come you've been in every one of them and they've all been shit out?
Forced to relive moments they'd rather forget.
You got the alpaca. You did the alpaca.
Jerry, you thought it was shit.
The look on your face this
I was
night.
embarrassed.
Tempers afraid.
He's cracked him again.
Is this my fault?
You're number one, and
Egos bruised.
Oh, it's rubbish.
I think it was one of the worst moments ever.
I had a bit of fun.
Friendships tested.
What are you talking about? Oh, you had a drinking problem.
It would appear the night's taken a twist.
We might have gone too far this time.
We're not going to
Bring on
play
the
this on the
llama.
show, are we? Any of this shit?
You f***ing idiot.
This could get ugly.
This next segment's called Sam's Walk On.
Pull it back to me. Pull it back to me.
Very ugly.
The
Moss has gone.
Is it a walk-off?
If I could turn back time.
That is coming up next week. It has to be seen to be
Tim,
believed.
So there were segments that don't work on the show.
Yeah, that's it. And why would you highlight them? 21 years, you could get some things that were good.
Because we're different to everyone else. We laugh at ourselves.
Well, I'm not laughing.
And what, beg pardon?
I'm not laughing.
Well, he didn't laugh because he walked out. He sucked it up.
He got angry again.
And walked off.
You did.
So why
And
we all laugh
all
at
the
ourselves.
things that don't work have nothing to do. What
Nothing to
about
do with
that?
you.
Nothing to do with
You were in every one of them.
What?
You were in every one of them.
Look, we're getting angry again.
What about the fan on grand final day?
Yeah, well,
that is the most embarrassing thing we've ever been
So anyway,
involved with.
it might come on
Gary.
next week if because he threatened
Look
not
at him.
to come.
Look, he gets all sooky. You're doing it again.
Yeah.
We need to get to a break, Force, because you and Gary can
Perth rang,
complete.
by the way.
And-
Perth rang, said, the game's just started. So,
That's my point.
Kokoda,
You're
the
laughing at
final leg when we come back on the Footy Show.
But don't you...
In the final weeks, Mark Bell's legendary story reaches a whole new level.
Yasu.
He's on the run, and he thought he got away with it.
Government about to announce $1 million reward for Mock Bell.
Sunday 8:40.
What is the deal? What do you want?
What history-making slip-up
Hey, Percy.
caused his greatest downfall?
Suburb in Athens. That Tony's calling from Greece.
Australia's biggest manhunt.
It's just the break we need.
A must-see. Tony, Sunday after 60 Minutes on 9.
At AHM Health Insurance, we've combined your separate extras limits into a single annual limit for you to use however you want on the included extras. Use 100%, waste nothing. We are AHM. Switch today.
Best sheds, 40% cheaper. Double garages, 6x6, $29.50. American barns, $56.50. Huge farm sheds, 12x12, $11,200. 60 square metre granny flats, $12,990. Bestsheds.com.au. Phone 1800 15 17 18.
Sluggish. No. What was the other one? Blocked up. Still don't get it.
Maybe animals don't get human tummy niggles because they eat the fibre nature intended. Take the All Bran 7-Day Challenge. Start your day with delicious All Bran Honey Almond. It's high in natural wheat bran fibre, which is proven to keep things moving for good digestion. And for even more fibre, try All Bran Original and see if you feel all brand new.
The National Gallery of Australia presents Gold and the Incas, Lost Worlds of Peru. A remarkable exhibition featuring more than 200 works of art created over thousands of years. Treasures that reveal the splendor, the drama, and the beauty of ancient Peru and the famous empire of the Incas. Gold and the Incas, Lost Worlds of Peru. Only at the National Gallery of Australia, Canberra. Book now.
The mighty new Ziegler & Brown Triple Grill with 3 powerful stainless steel burners to give you 3 heat zones for greater barbecuing versatility. From extra low heat for wood smoking meats, right through to high heat for finishing off pork crackling. Add a cast iron baking dish for scrumptious roasts, a ceramic pizza stone for crispy pizzas, a wok for yummy Asian stir fries. It's the complete barbecue system. The new Ziegler & Brown Triple Grill. It'll change the way you cook. Exclusively available from Barbecues Galore.
Catherine Zeta-Jones and the Hangover's Justin Bartha.
You're the thing for the nanny. Oh, please.
The Rebound, Saturday after the block on 9.
What we've done. I'll tell you what. Now, I hope we haven't bored you over the last 3 weeks, but we've done that as a campaign for the Tourism Board, and there's going to be a big launch around Anzac Day, and basically it is to encourage people to do it. Go to dokokoda.com, and there's other stuff that we did there. But Samuel, if we can be serious for a moment, I want to thank the people that were with us, the 2 Stewarts and Andy, and also Peter Miller, who was our tour organiser.
No roads.
No roads, exactly. But very quickly, if there's someone sitting at home thinking about doing it, that is the Kokoda track, your advice?
Do it. Jeff Kennett's just done it for the third time, just back, and it is a spiritual, mental and physical achievement that you won't equal in your life, and it is a great thing to do, and I hated every minute of it while I was doing it, and now when I'm back, having crossed that line under those arches, the spirit of doing it was just, you couldn't put it into words.
It's one of the best things we've done. So get on dukakota.com, have a look, and if you're in any doubt about it, you want to test yourself in your life, whatever stage of your life you're at, I encourage you to go ahead and do it. Jim Boy.
Yes, take a look at this game. West Coast Eagles take on the Western Bulldogs. Patterson Stadium, Subiaco, Sunday afternoon, and the West Coast Eagles tough to beat at home. And have got a nice look about them too. Big Coxie, their dominant player, of course, but they've got him everywhere. Their tall timber forward is quite extraordinary. So a tough task for the Western Bulldogs, who head over there. Some concerns over Ryan Griffin and where he's at and how soon he's going to play football. One of the superstars of the game, Ryan Griffin, but real concerns as to how much footy he's going to miss. Hey, a couple of things here. Firstly, good luck to Dom Sheed, taking pick 11 national draft. A very talented young player. Mitch Honeychurch also debuts for the Western Bulldogs. And good luck to a great mate of mine and a high-quality person in Adam Simpson, who I think's carried himself brilliantly in the lead-up to this game. His first game as a senior coach, Simo. All the best for you. Bill, what's going to happen?
Well, you think West Coast will win this one. They've got to start winning at Patterson Stadium. They were pretty ordinary there last year, so you'd think they'd win. And well done to... did you say Robert Murphy?
Well, I wasn't going to because I was going to leave it for Gary, but you do it.
No, I'm not mentioning
it.
No,
you do it.
No. Robert Murphy plays his 250th game, which is good. Bernie, isn't it?
No worries. Yeah, that's a great effort.
Say well done, Robert.
Well done, Rob.
Yeah.
Who's going to win, Bernie?
Dogs lost their last 6 trips over there, so it's a tough task, and I think West Coast had a very good NAB Challenge series too, beating Freo twice and the Swans as well, so I'm going West Coast.
I'll say well done to Bob too. Terrific, one of the terrific blokes in footy, and love reading his articles every week in The Age. I think the Eagles are looking pretty ominous this year. I think after a disappointing last year, they'll look to make Patterson Stadium a fortress again, and it'll start this Sunday.
Very unfortunate that the Western Bulldogs have to start their campaign over there, because they are going to be good this year, the Western Bulldogs, but unfortunately over there you couldn't see them actually getting up.
No, I'm going for the Eagles as well. I agree with that. What I want to do is listen very carefully, see if you can understand this. Right? Sportsbet, our great sponsors, the money back special that they had last week brought you joy to Magpies, Swans and Blues punters, because these teams all led at one of their breaks but lost the match, and as a result, over $200,000 was refunded. So the special continues in all matches again this week and for round 2. So if your team leads at any break during the match but lose, money back. Sportsbet will refund your head-to-head bet up to $100. Conditions apply. Visit sportsbet.com.au for further details. Please gamble responsibly.
All right, we need to get to a break, but before we do, Robert Murphy, 250 games, one of the greats of the Western Bulldogs, and a ripping bloke. Well done. Good luck to you. We're going to take a break. When we come back,
world champion could be.
World champion potentially on the way, and Sam goes to
him.
Craigieburn for Street Talk next.
So GWS beat Sydney. Does that mean I'm going to jump on the bandwagon? You betcha! I'm starting up my own new club here at Craigieburn.
What's this? What's all
This is the Footy Show.
Oh.
We're trying to put a new franchise side into Craigieburn. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it'd be any good?
I reckon a brothel, mate.
A brothel?
What am I supposed to be doing?
Well, you don't have to be doing anything.
Tap dance?
Can you do a tap dance? Did you? Look.
We're all right in Craigieburn. Well, we're a good bunch of people.
No.
What are you doing here, yo? I don't understand what you're doing in these parts. It's a bit too flash for you.
Get in the car, mate. Come on, mate. Remember me?
I do. What do I remember you?
G-string boy?
The G-string boy, that's right. All right, how are
You
you?
gave me your little banana years ago.
How much? What have you graduated to this year? Yeah, no, don't, for God's sake, don't pull them off again.
Oh, bananas and pyjamas. You threw it at me, quite a few years ago.
I was going to say, you didn't peel it and eat it by any chance, did you?
You're awesome. You're so funny. I want to take him home.
What would we call it if we started one up here?
Maybe the Craigieburn Rumblers. You know, because this place is rumbling, you see.
Probably Craigieburn Bangers.
The Craigieburn Bangers.
Craigieburn Cougars. How's that?
The Cougars.
The Cougars.
Aren't they women?
Yeah.
You're taking a selfie of your breasts there. Yes, did you? Yeah, put that bag over. Because I want to know what you'd call it, sir. The Craigieburn what? There you are, the Craigieburn.
Go the Bombers!
I know, probably Craigieburn North.
Craigieburn?
North.
North?
Yeah.
Yep. What is that?
Just north. You got like North Craigieburn, South Craigieburn.
Oh, pardon me, a direction of the
Craigieburn
compass.
Central.
I beg your pardon.
Craigieburn Siggy Butt Brains. Yeah, there we go.
The Craigieburn Siggy Butt Brains. What's that mean?
Yeah, you haven't seen it? Oh, you go on Facebook, man. It's a short video about
Siggy Butt.
Yeah, it's about the Craigieburn Society.
Siggy Butt Brains. Hey, what you doing, mate?
What you did,
Oh, well, you know, my daughter was only a couple of years old, so I toilet trained her. You probably need toilet training at your age.
Oh, you little.
Stuff, I got you back, baby.
Very,
Is that
very-
real?
Of course it's real.
Does it look real?
And you could either buy someone like Buddy Franklin, or you could buy a pie at the Footy with that.
The sausage rolls are $2 at the moment at Ferguson Player.
Is that right?
$2 a sausage roll.
And what, you've sampled them?
Oh, I've had a couple.
Have you? I'll be quite honest, I have a little leakage occasionally, a little bit of
Yeah, that's
uncontrolled leakage.
You're at that age.
Oh, yeah. Jack, what's he doing?
Getting money.
Oh,
You want to know what they are?
I know he's doing push-ups. Why is he doing them?
He's trying to impress you for a kiss.
Oh, I see. Well, if he stays there, I'll come and give him the full treatment. This is the man who said he'd put away childish things, and he said, no, it's a thing of the past. I said, weren't you the man that came out in the G-string some years ago? He said, yes, but all that is in the past. It's forgotten. Well, now you're talking. I've met any woman who's taken me banana in earlier days.
Oh, yeah, you're only dreaming.
All the best.
You too.
There he is, Sammy Newman out of Craigieburn. Amongst his people, Jim, he likes getting out of Craigieburn. Hey, we see him excited from time to time.
I know.
But since the start of the Footy Show this year, he's gone on and on about the special guest that he's going to bring into the studio to talk to before this special guest goes and attempts to do something that has never been done before, I don't think anyway. So I'm going to throw down to our man Sam Newman with the said special guest. Sammy.
This is the contender for the heavyweight championship of the world, Alex Lepi. Alex. This is manager Noel Thornton. Now, Alex, you said you promise Australia you'll knock him out, mate. That is an extravagant statement. Why do you say that? What makes you think you can knock this huge man out?
Yeah, well, I just feel that this world champion hasn't felt anybody like me, the power that I've got.
You said everyone's scared of him.
Oh, well, of course, everybody's scared of him. But this guy from Australia, he ain't scared of nobody.
Thank you, Alex.
That's it,
And he stands 15 centimetres taller than you.
Yeah, well, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and he's going to hit the canvas pretty hard.
And you said he's a gentleman, but you're going to actually bring the trophy home. When you bring the belt home, when is it on, Noel? Tell us when we can see it.
We'll be able to see it live on Main Event on Fox
Main
Sport.
Event, Gary.
Yep. April 27th, around about 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Alex steps through the ropes.
In Germany. Mate, and will you bring the belt back here, seeing as we've got a great faith in you? Will you bring it back here when you win it and show us here on the Footy Show?
For you, Sam.
Will you do that, Alex?
First one to get me on the Footy Show, I'll bring it.
You're a bloody star, mate. Alex Lepi, Gary.
Samuel.
Hey.
On this occasion,
one question.
You have delivered the big name here. We were a bit doubtful.
Do you listen to music before you fight? Please
Yeah.
say you don't.
Yeah, I do. I actually listen.
What do you listen to?
I listen to slow music, just to get the rhythm going, and a little bit of something. A bit like that.
Alex, make sure you don't listen to that. And good luck for the big fight. We're all behind you, and hopefully we can see you back here with the belt in your hands. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll take a break. We'll be back to wrap up the Footy Show after this.
My ranch It's to Sam Newman. I'm sick to death of all last year. You're talking about Essendon Doom, how good they are. They stuffed up.
Went to the game on Friday night, Colin, which has made me absolute sick. When you pay $7.80 for a mid-strength beer at the Footy. Yeah. And I hate when mate with a f***ing suit to the Footy show. $7 for a beer, $6 for a hot dog. I'm not sure what hot dogs are made of, but I'm sure the animal itself isn't worth $6.
Would you get rid of Cappy Ball? Would you get rid of Cappy Ball? People telling me I need to take my beard off. One person in particular goes, looks too scruffy, looks too messy, take it off. And when I tell her to take hers off, apparently I'm the bad guy.
That's I take my missus to the RSL on Friday night. They put the Palmer on top of the chips. That's
Go the Tigers! What am I doing here on the panel? I don't want to be on the panel. I want to be down at Timmins Stadium. The Cats are had a big win. I go to the hoops bar, get on the frothies, another frothy, and I'm sitting here with boring bastards like Luke Ball and Bernie Vince and Jim and Sam and you hairy-eyed monster. Get
There it is, your shout. Couple of familiar faces there. One of them, Bill Brownless. The other one, Dave, our cameraman, snuck into the shout.
Jim, 2 Geelong nuffies.
Oh, no.
Dave, the cameraman, and Bill.
Hey, a quick reminder, Wednesday, 9:30pm next week, the show, so a day earlier and an hour later, 9:30, Brian Lake and Stevie J, our special guests.
Hey, thanks to the panel, Lukey Ball and Burn Vince, and also to Bill. Burn, what's that? What is that?
Sam Bill didn't give me my baggy ball. I thought I'd bring my own. This is the boys won their 11th flag in a row back home on Saturday. So
well done, but don't so much worry about that. Worrying about your first win with the Melbourne Footy Club on Saturday night, if you wouldn't mind. Well done to you, Samuel. You're in rare form.
Nice
Jim,
one.
good luck with the Kangas tomorrow night when they take on the Bombers next Wednesday, 9:30. We'll see you next. Good night.